Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the Whatcom Community College pinning ceremony for the graduating class of 2022. My name is Grace Kolodachuk, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies tonight. I am the Nursing Program Director, and I had the pleasure of watching this amazing group of incredibly smart and talented individuals transform into nurses. If you could help me welcome the class of 2022. Over the past 2 years, many of you in the audience tonight may have felt the loss of time and companionship of your beloved student. As well, you may have been the one to take over the laundry, the cooking, cleaning, childcare and transportation, and numerous other tasks as you supported your student. You may have dried tears and given words of encouragement, always having faith that your student was meant to be the nurse. On behalf of the faculty, I would like to thank you for your much needed support and much appreciated support. None of these students could have succeeded without the support of their family and friends. Nursing school is rigorous. There are many assignments, tests, early and late hours for studying and clinical experiences, simulation labs, and practice of nursing skills. In 1936, two nursing authors, Pfefferkorn and Rotman, published a study of nursing students. Their findings would be so different today. In 1936, treatments that nursing students performed included taking temperatures. There was no mention of the other vital signs like blood pressure, pulse, respiration, oxygen saturation. They gave enemas. They bathed patients. Some patients got bathed daily, but mostly it was twice a week, and assisting with fluid and nutrition. These graduates can do all of those things and so much more. Patient needs are much more complex, and technology has impacted what can and should be done to promote, maintain, or regain health. These students have learned so much about nursing, but more so, they've learned lots about themselves. The author Jodi Picoult wrote in her novel, My Sister's Keeper, "The nurses, I have already learned, are the ones who give us the answers we're desperate for. Unlike the doctors who fidget like they need to be somewhere else, the nurse patiently answers us as if we were the first set of parents to ever have this kind of meeting with them, instead of the 1,000th. And later she wrote, it is the nurses who are the seasoned sergeants, the ones who are there when your baby is shaking with a high fever that she needs to be bathed in ice, the ones who can teach you how to flush a central line catheter or to suggest which patient floor kitchens might still have popsicles left to be stolen, or which dry cleaners know how to remove the stains of blood and chemotherapies from clothing. The nurses know the name of your daughter's stuffed walrus and show her how to make tissue paper flowers to twine around her IV stand. The doctors may be the ones mapping out the war games, but it is the nurses who make the conflict bearable. These graduates will be those nurses. We hope you are as proud of your graduate as we are. I'd now like to invite President Kathy Hyeni Brown to come forward and say a few words.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this momentous occasion and to celebrate with our graduates this evening. Now, as I look at you, do you remember when I made a visit to your class, to one of the first sessions? They were stunned. They were paralyzed with fear. They don't remember a thing. But I came to their class to welcome them to Whatcom Community College. and I took a photograph of them. And quite frankly, you look great tonight. I was a little worried and concerned when I saw you on that first day of class. But here, your smiles, I can see your faces of accomplishments, I can see your anxieties have disappeared. So this is indeed a great evening to celebrate with all of you. I want to recognize a few people in the audience tonight who are here celebrating with us all. Our Board of Trustee members, Rebecca Johnson and John Pedlow. Just wave your hands if you're here. And we also have a number of people from the WCC Foundation Board. We have Carolyn Simpson-Scott, our chair, Andrew Moquin, our foundation board member, and longtime supporter, Diane Staves. Wave your hand, be proud of your affiliation with Whatcom and the support that you give to our students. Thank you. We just love this particular ceremony and this moment. You have indeed demonstrated to us your accomplishments, your achievements, your perseverance, and we acknowledge that. We have heard some of your stories. We will hear them tonight. We know that many people in the audience have been here supporting you throughout your journey as a student. And so I want you to take this opportunity to applaud those in the audience that have supported you during this journey. So please. And I also ask, I want a little bit of an action here, to not be so humble and to give yourself and others, your other colleagues here on stage, a round of applause for your accomplishments. So nursing is a noble profession, as we all know. You have selected a profession dedicated to helping people, and in many cases, when they are at their most vulnerable and fragile states. Becoming a nurse requires tremendous dedication, is physically and mentally demanding. You have learned how to connect with your patients on a very personal level, and you have a desire to impact lives for the better. Our rigorous nursing program has prepared you with the technical skills you need for this next chapter in your career as a nurse, and has helped you develop your empathy and selflessness. I am pleased to share that upon graduation, 2/3 of this cohort are graduating with job offers at Peace Health, Skagit Valley Hospital, and other reputable health organizations across the state. Congratulations. There was never a more challenging time to have been enrolled in a nursing program. I admired how you adapted and made adjustments to how you learned, took tests, and performed virtually. The pandemic has brought more recognition than ever of the role and importance of nurses in our healthcare system. Everyone here was faced with their own elevated stress levels while learning in the very locations where those most adversely affected by COVID were ending up. Your desire to help people won out over these fears, and you rose to the challenge. Each day that you work as a nurse, you will be making a profound difference in the lives of many. I am proud to honor your accomplishments this evening and to have you join the ranks of a WCC graduating nurse. As a cohort, you have developed a close bond and connection with your fellow graduates, creating, I hope, lifelong friendships and a feeling of community. As you embark the next chapter of your career, continue to be there for each other. I am confident that our program has prepared you to face the challenges of tomorrow. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, President Kathy, for sharing your thoughts. The graduating class selected one of their classmates to speak on their behalf tonight. Let's welcome Christina Wayne.
Hi, welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here. Show of hands, who thought nursing school was hard? It was really hard. Oh my God. Especially during COVID. Nursing school is hard as it is, but the first year we were all masked. We couldn't spend time with each other outside of class. We were mostly Zoom, and it was so hard to feel involved and connected with each other, but we did it, and I'm so happy that you all are here with me today. Nursing school, for some of us, was one of the hardest things that we've ever done in our lives. At the same time, it is also the most rewarding thing. In the first year, I remember I started out, I had terrible imposter syndrome. I cried all the time. I was like, I can't do this. I'm miserable. And time went on, and we learned more and more about what nursing is, what nursing means. It is such a special profession. We get to be there at the beginning of life. We get to be there at the end of life. And we get to be there in those intimate moments when people have their hardest days and when they need us the most, and we are there for them. I am so proud of my class. I love you all. I want to say thank you to all of you, because without you, I would have never made it. And I feel like we will always have this bond because we went through all of this together. You are all so smart and successful, and I can't wait to see where you all go. I am so grateful to our instructors who are with us every step of the way and taught us so much and gave us nursing advice, career advice, and life advice. And I'm so grateful for them. And I am so grateful for all the families that supported us throughout this journey. We are so grateful that you're here with us today. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Christina, for speaking so eloquently. The graduating class also invites a keynote speaker to make an address to the class. I'd like to welcome Michelle Parker, one of our nursing instructors, to the podium. Thanks.
All right. I hope you listened to the Panopto before you came this evening. There will be a post-quiz. Well, welcome, everyone. What an exciting evening. We get to celebrate such a momentous occasion with these awesome nursing graduates. And I know for a lot of you, this moment felt like it would never get here. And now that it is here, it feels like it got here so quick. Going through nursing school is a lot like raising a child. The days are long, but the years are short. And here you are. What brought you here? Hard work, perseverance, study groups, tears, hugs, a sense of humor, and the support of all your amazing loved ones and friends who are joining us tonight for sure. But what I mean right now is, what drew you to nursing? I want you to take a moment to remember. Maybe going into nursing was the natural progression from another health-related job that you had. Or perhaps this was the fulfillment of a deferred lifelong dream. Maybe nursing is the profession that you found that fulfills your fascination with anatomy and physiology. You know who you are. Or perhaps you are a connoisseur of exotic aromas and you had heard that there's no rival to nursing for indulging that. Each of your stories is unique. But I believe there's also a common thread that binds you all together and to every nurse that's ever recited the Nightingale Pledge. You care about and want to care for people. You wouldn't have made it this far if that wasn't true. Now, I've seen your work. I've seen you at the bedside, and I've seen you in lab. I've read your clinical journals, and I've heard your discussions and debriefs and post-conferences, and I'm confident in each of you. Your clinical knowledge, your nursing judgment, your technical skills. But based on what I've seen and heard, I'm also confident in your abilities to care for the whole person. Not just the physical, but the mental, emotional, spiritual, and environmental aspects. Because you know it's important. And I'd like to share a story about how important that can be for a patient. The summer I was 12, I spent 7 days in the small hospital in the small town where I'm originally from. My appendix had ruptured, so I was admitted for surgery, and in the days after was flirting with a case of peritonitis. And because I was there for so many days and saw the same nurses over and over again, I remember a few of them. But I still, 32 years later, remember one nurse in particular, Cindy. Cindy was a young, new nurse who worked the 3 to 11 p.m. shift. And she had a gentle manner and an easy smile, perfect for pediatrics. But what I remember the most about Cindy was I felt really cared for when she was working. There was one evening when I was feeling a little bored, and she spent some extra time with me just talking about whatever it was that a 12-year-old girl in 1990 wanted to talk about. Another day, earlier in her shift, the surgeon on rounds performed a somewhat painful procedure at the bedside. And Cindy held my hand the whole time and murmured reassuring words to me. My hospitalization encompassed Labor Day of that year, and I remember that when she came on shift that Monday, she brought me a hot dog and an ice cream sandwich from her own family's Labor Day picnic. Obviously, this must have been at a point in my hospitalization that I was ordered a diet as tolerated, and I think she was testing the limits of what that really meant. Like a lot of patients, I just trusted or assumed that she was skilled at the other nursing things that she was doing to keep me safe and on track to getting better. And because I was just 12, any of the interventions that the nurses did with the IVs and the monitors and the drains seemed like sorcery to me. And while I was appreciative, it wasn't until later that I gained the words and the understanding of how Cindy had cared for my whole being. Now, I couldn't have known it at the time, but Cindy's acts of caring for me were some of the influences on my own trajectory to becoming a nurse. When I applied to the local nursing program during my senior year of high school, I remember specifically thinking 2 things. I like helping people, and I want to be like Cindy, that pediatric nurse that I had, who made people feel cared for. I want to care for people just the way she did. About 4 years into my nursing career, I started a new job in labor and delivery at that same hospital where I had been a pediatric patient. And one evening during my orientation, the pediatric unit discharged its last patient, and they floated the peds nurse over to our unit to work in our newborn nursery. Well, that nurse turned out to be Cindy. I recognized her immediately, and during a slower moment of the shift, because remember, you don't ever say quiet, I went to the nursery and I chatted with her. She was delighted and slightly chagrined to learn that she was now co-workers with a previous pediatric patient of hers. She still had that same quick smile and gentle demeanor, and I got to see firsthand that she was indeed very skilled and very knowledgeable in her nursing duties, just as I had assumed 12 years earlier. I took that opportunity to tell her that she had played a part in my career choice, that her caring acts had reinforced me in the desire to pass it along by becoming a nurse. I'm sure Cindy was just being herself, but those caring gestures I remember were things that she didn't necessarily have to do. Those intangible things she did can't be quantified on any flow sheet. With the perspective I have now, I'm gonna guess there were probably moments when she felt like she didn't have much time to spare. And maybe even moments where she didn't feel like doing something extra, but she did it anyway. And each of you at some point will have a shift or a moment when you might doubt if you have the time or the strength to do those intangible, seemingly small acts of caring because you're busy doing the tangible, big acts of caring, like keeping someone alive. And you'll have that shift when your unit is at max capacity and a coworker had to call off and it's a full moon and all your call lights are going off. And that moment when you are in the literal 11th hour of your 4th 12-hour shift, and that same client who's already been through the emergency department 3 times this week comes through again and gets assigned to you again. And it'll be times like these that I encourage you to come back to your touchstone, to remember your origin story, and to remember that common thread that runs through nursing, caring for that whole person. It might just be what you need in order to find the time and the strength to hold a hand, to take an extra moment to chat, to give that client the dignity of looking them in the eye and acknowledging their concerns and their pain and their own struggle. These things matter in the moment to your patient. They might appreciate how skillfully you inserted their IV, and they may or may not realize how closely and skillfully you're monitoring their heart rate and titrating their drip, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And you never know. Maybe your intangible acts of caring will influence their own trajectory and their own origin story that leads up to them being the keynote speaker at the pinning ceremony for the Whatcom nursing graduates of the class of 2054. And like some weird nursing version of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, we could trace that common thread of caring from those graduates to that prior patient of yours, to you, to me, back to Cindy. You are truly a group of the caliber of people that should be going into nursing. You give me refreshed hope for our amazing profession. I am honored that you asked me to speak here this evening, and it is a privilege to now call you colleagues. Now let's go get those pins.
Michelle, thank you for those words of encouragement and challenging the graduates to strive for excellence in all they do. I'd like to welcome Gail Ray to lead the pinning of the graduates.
Hello, good evening. Welcome again, everyone. I just wanted to say a quick moment to say how excited I am to be here to celebrate with you all. As you know, we have had quite a challenging 2 years. We haven't been able to have a pinning ceremony for the last 2 years. This is the first one that I've been part of since I've been part of Whatcom, and that's because, well, you know, we don't need to talk about why anymore. But I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me to be part of this day to celebrate with you all. It is a momentous occasion, as President Kathy has said. It's important to celebrate your hard work, your achievements, and I'm just really, really so happy for you all and just excited to be here with you. All right, on to the pinning. I will start with Anatoly Balko. He is going to be pinned by his wife, Liana Balko. If you want to come up to the stage. Anatoly wishes to thank his family, friends, and instructors and classmates for their continued support and encouragement these past few years. Despite the major adjustments we all experienced due to COVID-19, I'm thankful for the instructors' tireless energy in providing us with creative, fun solutions to get the quality education that Whatcom Nursing Program stands for. Thank you. Also, a special shout out to my lovely wife, Liana, and my good friend, Andrew, both of whom inspired and encouraged me in more ways that I can express. Riley Behrens will be pinned by her partner, Dylan Bowley. Riley was also the treasurer of our student nurses of Whatcom County. Riley says, I would like to thank my friends and family for their love and encouragement throughout my time in nursing school. Thank you to the nursing faculty for their continuous support throughout the program. A big thank you to my peers for their camaraderie and companionship that helped me persevere these last 2 years. A special thank you to my partner, Dylan, who has been my rock through the good times and the hard times. I am tremendously grateful for your unconditional love and support. Adina Boyko Gorin, pinned by her husband, Andre. I want to thank my friends, my family, and my sweet husband for supporting me through my journey of becoming a nurse. As I graduate, a new journey begins, and I thank you for all your kindness, love, and prayers. Nicholas Campbell, pinned by his significant other, Abigail Becker. Thank you to my family, my partner Abigail, our son Xylo, and our 2 doggies, Shishka and Ludo. I'm sure they helped tremendously, for helping and supporting me every step of the way through nursing school. Christina Darnell, pinned by her mother, Kathy Goulet. I would like to thank my mother for continuing to support me in all my years of schooling, always believing I am capable of achieving my goals and encouraging me to push through any struggles I had in the past 2 years. I would also like to thank our faculty and staff from both years of helping us all get to this point. We could not have done it without you. Stephanie Dunham, pinned by her aunt, Victoria Dunham. Stephanie was also our president of our group, Student Nurses of Whatcom. Today, as I graduate, I feel proud for creating a dream for myself and making it a reality. Our cohort persevered even through a pandemic, and I could not have made it through without the constant encouragement and inspiration of my classmates and instructors. I would like to thank my friends and family whose love has given me the strength and resilience to succeed. My best friend Claire and my study buddy Kelsey deserve more than a simple thank you for standing by my side and sometimes holding me up as I pursued this dream. I feel blessed to have you all in my life, and I am forever grateful. Angelina Fogel, pinned by her mom, Nancy Brown. Angie was also our pinning ceremony coordinator in our Student Nurses of Whatcom group. I would like to thank my husband, Sean. Without you, none of this would have been possible. My mom for always supporting me no matter what. My grandmother for inspiring me to help others. And a huge thank you to all the faculty. You have all been very supportive and inspiring. I will be forever grateful. Jasmine Gill, pinned by her father, Gurpal Gill. I want to thank my family. You are always standing next to me. Your prayers are the most amazing support for me, and I still need them for my whole life. I am lucky to have parents like you. I love you more than the words could ever describe. I also want to thank wonderful nursing instructors that have provided encouragement and knowledge, and also to my cohort for supporting and helping these 2 years. Lena Hamada Hopper, pinned by her husband, Peter Jernberg. Thank you to my parents for believing in me as I embarked on my education. Even through all my spurts of self-doubt, you never stopped having faith in me, and for that, I want to thank you. To all my friends, especially Paige, thank you for continuing to support me through times of stress and anxiety. I could not have done this without your love and encouragement. Lastly, thank you, Peter, my dear husband, for being my rock during these last 2 years. I truly could not have survived and carried on the feat of nursing school without your continuous patience, support, and understanding. Aspen Hennessy, pinned by her husband, Patrick Hennessy. I would like to thank my husband for supporting my endeavors, and a special thank you to the rest of my family and friends for the endless love and support. Shalia Hoffer, pinned by her mom, Alyssa Hoffer. Just wanted to give a special thanks to my mom. Since day one, she has motivated and pushed me through. She stayed up many nights until early morning helping me study. I seriously doubt I could have been as successful as I was if I didn't have her help and reassurance. And shout out to my classmates. Everyone was so supportive and uplifting of each other. Best cohort I could have asked for. Nathan Henry, pinned by best friend Ashley Rose. First of all, I want to thank my family back home. They cheer me on in everything I do and inspire me to be the best person I can be. Seriously, I couldn't have done any of this without them. I would also like to thank all of my friends for supporting and reminding me to take time for myself every once in a while. I feel like I've been able to find a second family here in Bellingham, and you all mean everything to me. Thank you for keeping me sane over these last 2 years. Balwinder Kaur, pinned by her mother, Raj Kaur, was unable to be here this evening, so I'll read out her words of acknowledgement. I want to thank my mother, my son, and the entire nursing program staff who has helped me reach my goal. Without the support and encouragement of any of you, it would not have been possible for me to celebrate this moment today. Thank you for helping me become who I am. Jody Lowell, pinned by her friend Christine Kalbaum. Jody was also our mentorship coordinator in our group Student Nurses of Whatcom. Thank you to my husband Tom and my baby Oscar for your love and support through nursing school. I could not have done it without you. I have to say that Jody planned her pregnancy very, very wisely. I think, when did you have the baby? Like a week after we finished final exams. Heather Palmer would have been pinned by her best friend, Jessa Van Wormer. Her words say, I want to thank my amazing friends and family who have supported me every single step of the way. I could not have done this without any of you. Kelsey McDonald, pinned by her grandmother, Carol Shucker. Kelsey was our secretary in our Student Nurses of Whatcom. Thank you to all my friends and family who supported my journey through this program. Thank you to my classmates who were most valuable in making the difficult enjoyable. Kyra Paulina Ralston, pinned by her father, Peter Paulino. I want to acknowledge, Kyra was also our blood drive coordinator, Student Nurse of Whatcom, another well-planned pregnancy. I want to acknowledge my family and husband, William Ralston, for their constant support and encouragement throughout the nursing program. A special thanks to Professor Michelle for answering all my OB questions and inspiring me during clinical. Ashley Santiago, pinned by her partner, Jose Marquez. And the whole family. Thanks for supporting me and caring for my kiddos when I couldn't. You are a blessing in my life. Special thanks to Jeffrey and Faith. You both have been my motivation and have gone through the most difficult moments with me. This is for you. Harmon Sidhu, pinned by her mother, Paul Sidhu. I would like to thank my family for their continued support during school. Thank you to my instructors whose support I found invaluable. Sargam Sidhu, also pinned by her mother, Pal Sadhu. I would like to thank my family and friends for their continued support during these last 2 years of school. Thank you to my instructors for their invaluable support and guidance in this journey. Megan Watkins, pinned by her father, Bill Watkins, who is also a nurse. Megan was our alumni coordinator in our student nurses of Whatcom. Arriving at this moment, graduation, was not an easy one, and I never would have made it without the unceasing support of friends, family, and this awesome cohort. Thank you to my brother Will, my dearest friends, Lauren and Annabeth, my partner Riley and his family, and a special thanks to my parents, Bill and Rosanna Watkins. Thank you for never giving up on me and for helping me realize my true calling as a nurse. Lee Wagner, pinned by instructor Telia Slagle. I want to thank Telia Slagle for exemplifying excellence as an instructor during my time at Whatcom. I thoroughly enjoyed having you teach microbiology, which remains a favorite topic of mine. It was challenging to return to academia after many years, but my time in Telia's class reminded me that hard work and dedication can pay off with enhanced knowledge and a rewarding experience. I also want to thank my nursing instructors, my family, and in particular my classmates for their ongoing support during these last 2 years. I know you will all make wonderful nurses, and I wish you much success. Christina Wayne, pinned by her mom, Victoria Wayne. I am grateful to my instructors for their knowledge, my classmates for their support, and my family for their love. I am especially thankful to my mother, who made this journey possible for me. Nicole Weaver, pinned by her eldest daughter, Jaya Weaver. I want to thank all my family and my friends, professors and peers for their collective encouragement and support through this journey. A special thank you to Rachel for convincing me to believe enough in myself to even begin. Special thanks to Alyssa and Rebecca for helping me remain tethered and sane despite all the ups and downs. Endless gratitude to my grandparents, Larry and Carol Backstrom, for your unconditional love and tireless support of me and my girls as we navigated through this chaotic season. And finally, most importantly, thank you to God for blessing me with these 4 incredible daughters, without which I would have had no motivation or reason to keep going. This is for you, Jaya, Gracie, Savannah, and Aniston. I love you with all my heart. Rebecca Yaman, pinned by her friend, Natalie Shield. Thank you to my family and friends for their support.
I'd now like to invite Carol Whiteside to lead the candlelighting, followed by the Nightingale Pledge.
So this is the part of the candlelighting ceremony. This flame symbolizes the intellect, compassion, determination, and hope necessary to become a nurse. By lighting a candle from the flame, these students are taking up the light of the lamp that Florence Nightingale carried so long ago, taking their turn at the watch. As I call your names, if you'd come up and light your candle. So Rebecca Yaman, graduate nurse. Nicole Weaver, graduate nurse. Christina Wayne, graduate nurse. Lee Wagner, graduate nurse. Megan Watkins, graduate nurse. Sargam Sidhu, graduate nurse. Armin Sidhu, graduate nurse, and Ashley Santiago Flores, graduate nurse. Kira Paulino, graduate nurse, and Kelsey McDonald, graduate nurse. Jody Lowell, graduate nurse. Shalia Hoffer, graduate nurse. Nathan Henry, graduate nurse. Aspen Hennessy, graduate nurse. Lena Amanda Hooper, Jasmine Gill, graduate nurses. Angelita Fogel, graduate nurse. Stephanie Dunham, graduate nurse. Christina Darnell, graduate nurse. Nick Campbell, graduate nurse. Adina Boyko, graduate nurse. Riley Behrens, graduate nurse. And last but not least, Antonio Balco, graduate nurse. You guys would all stand for the leading of the pledge. We're going to do the Nightingale Pledge now, and I ask that any nurses in the audience please stand and recite it with us. I pledge myself here
In the presence of this assembly, to practice my profession with integrity. I will endeavor to maintain and elevate the standard of nursing, both as a science and as an art. I wholeheartedly recognize the importance of high standards of care and personal accountability. I devote myself to the healing, protection, and welfare of those committed to my care. I accept a duty to work for the improvement of health in the communities in which I live and work. I will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and will respect the privacy of medical information. I will act with compassion in ethical matters. I will not knowingly administer or consume any harmful substances. I commit to interdisciplinary collaboration and lifelong learning. I fully acknowledge the seriousness of the responsibility that I accept in my calling and the significance of this pledge that I take today.
So let's give one more round of applause to congratulate our graduates on their accomplishments. We'd like to thank you for all you've done for our graduates over the past 2 years and invite you to enjoy the refreshments out in the foyer. That concludes tonight's program. Congratulations, graduates.